And welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. It's Wednesday night, 6:05 first pitch. We appreciate you tuning in. We've got a lot of great stuff to get to tonight. A lot of high school football conversation continuing as we're hoping, fingers crossed, we're getting closer to some real games coming up. A little bit later in the show, too, we're going to have the new Riverside City College Athletic Director, Payton Williams. He's a local guy from Riverside. He played in the NFL. Now he's back, and he will lead the Tigers athletics program, so we got an interview with him. And then also, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first high school competition in the Inland Empire since March will take place this Saturday in Riverside. It's the River Valley League cross country meet. We've got an exclusive interview with La Sierra head coach Jeremy Solorio. And Coach Solorio was telling me the cross country meet is going to be on campus at La Sierra High School. And it's the first on campus cross country meet for the Eagles in about 30 years. So some history being made as well, and high school sports returning to the IE. So we got all that, plus we got the exclusive details with the University of Redlands trying to play some spring football games as well. So a jam-packed show, and we lead it off like this. He's one of our favorite guys. In fact, he is a Inland Sports Show legend. We're going to go three wide right now with head coach Billy Cardosi and star quarterback Trevian Tribble join us here on the Inland Sports Show. And first off, Coach, you know, I know we're trying to stay optimistic. We're trying to stay hopeful that we have some version of a high school football season coming up. I know we are on the clock, and we're up against it in terms of trying to get those games in before April 17th. What's kind of your message to Trey and the rest of the guys about just staying ready? If we get the green light, we got to step on the gas and go.
You know, that's kind of the thing is we're trying to stay ready as best we can. If the door is slightly open, we're going to try to kick it open and take the opportunities that are given to us. Things are constantly changing, Pep. They change constantly, and that's what I've been telling the players. Be ready. Have your notifications on the devices that we have for means for communication with you. Stay ready. We conditioned yesterday morning. Because of inclement weather, we won't go tomorrow and Friday, but we'll be hopefully back conditioning again next week. And, we have testing set up in Fontana. We can test students and coaches. So I think we're ahead of the game. I think, if it comes down to it, the governor realizes that we are only one of 47, or we're one of 3 states, 47 other states are going to allow the class of 2021 to play football. I think he's going to come around to his senses, and I think we're going to get some games in. And, that's the only way to think, and that's the only way to proceed. The other way is there's no other way, in my opinion, to proceed.
So, Coach, if we can get some games in, let's say you play your league games maybe, because we know the CIF has already said, the CIF Southern Section, I should say, has said there won't be any postseason, to allow teams like Kaiser High School and those other high schools out there to try to squeeze in some league games. I mean, what do you think best case scenario is? Maybe 5 games, to this season?
Yeah. I think best case scenario for us in Fontana is to possibly play the other district schools. We have testing set up at all 5 high schools, so why wouldn't we be able to play each other? If we have testing set up for all of our players and coaches, and we have the ability to do that, then I don't see why we couldn't if we get the green light from the California Department of Public Health and the government. So I think that's our best path right now. But it could be, maybe our league is ready. Maybe we can play some league games. Who knows?
Coach, I think you bring up a great point. Like if you played the other teams inside your own school district, because you will have the same safety protocols. I think it's going to get messy is when you have leagues who, I think of the Citrus Belt League. You got Beaumont in Riverside County, and then you've got the other schools in San Bernardino County, and they're all from like different school districts. Yucaipa and Cajon, and So I think you're onto something there. Like if they say, hey, we can do football, but if you have to play your district teams. I think you're onto something there. And I think that's actually, and right now, Coach, I think everything's on the table, right? Like everything's an option.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be, and I don't see why we shouldn't. One thing you have to think about is you have to look at things and say, well, if things aren't going our way, and things aren't working, we need to make it so things are working. And if, shutdowns and keeping everything closed, cases were still rising and rising and rising, then maybe, we should look to other options and to be able to get things back to normal and allow kids and young people to participate in things that are good for them by, switching some things up, because, you don't want to end up like that teacher who fails all their kids and says, oh, it's because they don't study. It's because they don't study. Well, maybe it's you. Maybe it's the way you teach and the way you run your classroom. And maybe you need to think about a change. And I think our state needs to do that. I think we felt into this little comfort zone that, the only reason why cases are rising is because people aren't doing this or that. Now, I don't think that was correct. I think that it was coming either way. And we need to do some things now to give back to the young people we stole from. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, Coach, I'm going to go to Trevian Tribble in just a second here. But before we do, why don't you go over some of the stats that Trey has, assuming we can maybe get Trey a couple more games in terms of, adding to those stats, because we've had some, and I'm just looking at a small sample size the last couple of years since you've been head coach at Kaiser. We've had some phenomenal Kaiser players. Tyler Algier, Christian Hunter, those guys were both running backs. Trey, by trade, is a quarterback right now for the Cats, but he's set up to be one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, first and foremost, he's 25-3 as our starting quarterback. That's unheard of. He's getting shorted his senior year. Think about what his record could have been if we would have had a full pandemic, non-pandemic type season. 25-3 as our starting quarterback. And if you knew the story of how he started as our starting quarterback, you'd say, wow, how did those guys win a CIF championship when he was a sophomore? He didn't start playing quarterback until mid-June. He was playing baseball. He wasn't even, he played, other skill positions as a freshman. And, you go from there, and he's just outside, 25-3 as our starter. He's, number one in touchdown passes in school history. He's, second in passing yards in school history and would be first if we got a full season. And he's in the top 10 as an all-time leading rusher. He's ran for over 2,500 yards. He's thrown for over 2,500 yards. And he's accounted for, I want to say, almost 40 touchdowns running and throwing. It's just been a phenomenal career. And, he's just as talented, if not more, than Tyler and Christian.
Well, Coach, then let's go to Trey. Trey, so I love the story about becoming a quarterback. Did you want to be a quarterback, or did you say, yes, Coach, whatever you need, I'll play quarterback? How did that come about?
That's exactly the attitude. Yes, Coach, whatever you need. I didn't really care, really. I just needed to play it.
So
I just wanted to play, really.
So, Trey, even like youth football, all that, you had never played quarterback? You were more like a skill position kind of player?
I was always like running back, receiver, safety, corner, something. But I never really thought of playing quarterback until my sophomore year.
Now, Trey, obviously every offensive snap is going to you, so you're involved in every single play. Did you like that? Did you embrace that challenge? A skill position player, if you're a receiver, you might not get the ball all the time, but at quarterback, you're getting the ball every single play.
Yeah, I knew I had to make some type of plays with that opportunity for sure. I really loved it. I fell in love with the position. I can't lie. I really did.
Well, I think the position fell in love with you too, man. You're putting up some huge numbers, and like Coach pointed out, 25-3 as the starting quarterback for the Kaiser Cats, and hopefully you can add on to that with a couple more games.
Oh, most definitely. This was supposed to be the season for that. This is for sure supposed to be the season for that.
So, Trey, how important is it to you to get back on the field and get some games in?
Oh, it's highly important. I talk to Coach almost a lot about it. I just really want to play this year. Having a senior season is like training for something, and then you just get blown off for it. It's like you can't. I need something. I need reassurance for myself. I just need it.
Hey, Coach, let me go back to you because, I'm curious for guys like Trey, who's obviously a high-profile high school football player. This is their senior year. In terms of recruiting for Trey and maybe some of your other guys to just get out there and remind maybe some of these college coaches that Trey can straight up ball out, and you probably got some other guys too, just to kind of remind them, get them back on the radar, hey, don't forget about these guys.
Yeah, that's true. And Pep, there's something that people need to think about is the NCAA granting this extra year has really impacted high school seniors and their possibilities of being recruited and getting a college scholarship. So now these players who would have been leaving programs because their time was up, they get to come back. So now it's already hard enough to get a college scholarship. And now with the transfer portal and everybody getting an extra year, if you're class of 2021 and you have an offer, you better take it because there's not a lot of those out there. And that's just a fact because I'm going to be honest with you. Whoever gets Trevian Tribble is going to get a steal with a capital S, because I'm telling you right now, the last 3 Kaiser recruits, Algier, Hunter, and now Trevian, have, you talk about slept on, I mean, look what Algier did this year. People were telling me, oh, he's too this, he's too that. And then, he goes out and, is, 1 year he's a linebacker and killing Boise. And then the next year running for 90-yard touchdowns against Boise. Yeah, Boise State, you told me he couldn't play. So, okay.
That Kaiser bloodline runs deep with these great players. And yeah, we had Tyler Algier on the show. Actually, during football season, he was kind enough to jump on the show for a couple minutes and talk to us. So, Coach, for Trey and the rest of your guys, I know the CIF rules, 2 weeks in helmets and pads, and then you can play that first.
2 days of full padded practice, yeah.
So if we kind of work backwards from the April 17th date, I've heard like the middle of February is kind of like that time where you'd have to start ramping up and start practicing to get ready for some games. What are you hoping to see in the next couple of weeks and months what this football season might look like?
Hoping that people get on board and they see that, we wake up. I think sometimes in California we think, oh, we got this, everything's so great here, and we look around and the country is laughing at us. There's states with numbers just like us, populations just like us, that are granting these seniors the ability to go and play. There's people out there saying, yes, young people need to be involved. They need to be in school. They need to be, participating in athletics. And I'm hoping that it'll dawn on our leadership, and starting in Sacramento and then local leadership as well. There's not a lot to fear. Somebody needs to stand in the place and stand up for these young people. And I don't know if a lot of people are. And I call on people, from Sacramento to people in our district to stand up and let young people play. Okay, if we're going to stay on distance learning, let the people who want to come back on campus and compete. And if people don't want to, give them a choice. It's very important that we do that. And I pray every day that people have the courage and the ability to stand up for our young people, because that's what needs to happen.
Well said, Coach. And let me go back to Trey for this next question. Trey, like you said, as a senior, this was very important for you to, put on that Kaiser uniform a couple more times and, build on those stats and, all those sorts of things, make those memories as a Kaiser Cat here before your high school season, your high school career is over. What are maybe some goals that you would set for yourself this season in terms of, we won't have CIF championship games or whatever, but maybe you play for a league title or a district title or a city title or something like that?
Yeah, I just want to play for something. Like, there's going to be a meaning to this season after all at the end of the day, because they didn't want us to play at first, but now if we do get that chance, you got to show and prove that you wanted to play and just ball out.
Hey, Trey.
Like you said, that goal would be to win all the games, of course. Mm-hmm. But the goals would be to show everybody that doubted me or anything, just to prove to myself and prove to them.
Trey, do you still play baseball? Were you planning to play this spring for Kaiser?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yeah, I was. Yeah, I was, most definitely. I was playing a travel ball during quarantine not that long ago, like a couple months ago, not even. But we had to stop because of COVID again. But I'm looking forward to that too, most definitely. So
is there a possibility that you could find a college that would say, hey, Trey, we'll let you do both? We think you're great at both. Why don't you come out?
That's what me and my parents are looking for, most definitely. That was supposed to be the number one goal, but everything just got switched up. So we just got to roll with what I got now.
This has been a year unlike any other. It's been very, very wacky. Let me go back to Coach Cardosi as we wrap this up. And Coach, again, man, I'm glass half full. I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful, however you want to call it, however you want to slice it, that we will have some sort of a high school football season. I know it hasn't been easy. It's been a battle. The CIF calendar's changed, and we're doing everything we can to try to get these guys some games here. My last question for you is, I guess normally this time of the year, you'd start thinking about spring football and getting guys in the weight room to prepare for next fall, right? I mean, is that even on your radar right now, what the upcoming 2021 fall season might look like?
Right now on our radar, our focus is on the class of 2021 and our seniors, and getting people to have courage to do what's right and to do what the rest of the country is doing, and to give these young people an opportunity to compete. And, they've sacrificed. We've done everything we've been asked to do. We've socially distanced. We've masked up. We're now testing and conditioning. I don't know what else we can do. We've done what we've been asked to do. And it's time for people, leadership, to stand up and stand in the gap for these young people. And I pray every day that people will do that. And that's just been my prayer over and over again for the class of 2021. Next year will come. This will never come back for them. You got to think about it, Pep. NCAA gave all the college seniors a do-over. Nobody's giving these kids a do-over. They don't get one. They don't get to say they're going to play, their senior year again. None of these kids get that. We took it away from the spring sports last year, and we're just going to take it away for an entire year again. I mean, that's just, to me, something that is unbelievable. Because even last year, even the kids, they got a few games in. These kids are going to get none. And that's just not, the data doesn't show that. And people who say that, it's not safe to play, they have an agenda, in my opinion.
Coach, you are the best. We always appreciate your time. Trey, hey, best of luck to you. Some college is going to hit the jackpot when they land Trey Tribble, whether it's football, baseball, or both. Maybe you'll end up doing both. So, guys, I really appreciate the time, and hopefully the next time I see you two, it's going to be on a field getting ready for a game.
Oh, I hope so, for real.
Thank you, guys. That's QB Trey Tribble and head coach Billy Cardosi from Kaiser High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, guys. Quick commercial break here on the show. When we come back, he is the brand new AD at RCC, Payton Williams. He will join us live when we come back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
For sure, Pep. Trey's signing next Wednesday.
Hey, guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the #1 sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the Bass School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. Bass is an all-boys private middle school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. Bass School enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information. The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods. Offseason for the NFL was different, like nothing we've ever seen before because of COVID-19. So there was no real offseason. Remember, there was no preseason games. Like they said, hey, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, which also had some new pieces on offense, including Gronkowski. They added Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette. They're like, it's going to take some time. And here we are. It's January. It's Tom Brady. And we're back to where we started with Tom Brady playing in a Super Bowl.
It's amazing. Wow.
Hey, quick shout out though, because even though Tom Brady was pretty good yesterday against Green Bay, our guy Kenny Clark did have a sack on Tom Brady. So if you're Kenny Clark, the pride of Carter High School in Rialto, you got to think you're going to remember that one for a long, long time. You know, going up against Tom Brady, NFC Championship game, and you were able to bring him down to the turf on the frozen tundra. I'm sure that was a pretty special moment for him, even though it's probably bittersweet right now. He's still thinking about, man, we should be playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one for him, especially and the Green Bay Packers, because there's a lot of uncertainty on whether Mr. Aaron Rodgers is coming back to that team or not.
And that's KCAL every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m., recognizing our local guys in the NFL. And again, we're getting ready for Super Bowl 55 coming up. And we got Daniel Sorensen, the pride of Colton High School, starting safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. This segment brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods, our friends over there since 1976. All of your sporting gear needs. I checked them out on Instagram. You should follow them as well. All kinds of deals. I just saw brand new baseball mitts they're throwing out there right now, because we are getting into baseball season here in the spring, and hopefully we'll have some high school games as well. So this segment brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods. All right, now joining us on the show, and this is a real pleasure. I'm really excited to have this guy on. He is the brand new athletic director for Riverside City College, Payton Williams. And Payton, first off, you are a local guy. You are from the Inland Empire. You went to Moreno Valley High School. Is this like a dream job to land at RCC as the AD?
It is. It's definitely a destination job for me. I grew up in Moreno Valley. I have a Tigerbackers plaque that my grandparents put up as soon as I won it when I was playing at Moval and got a football award from RCC. And that was a massive thing in my household. So to have a chance to be the AD at Riverside City College is just a dream for me.
Well, Payton, you inherit a pretty darn good program. I'm sure you're obviously well aware of what the football team has done and reigning state champs. In fact, they're still the reigning state champions as of right now. But when you come in as a new athletic director, you know, what's kind of the plan? Like, I mean, do you come in and think, okay, I got to put my stamp on the program, or wait, they've already got some good things going. I just, want to maybe, see how it progresses. I mean, what's kind of the plan as you go in as a new athletic director? Obviously, you're very familiar with the area and the program, but, coming back and trying to put your stamp on it.
It's unique. With the COVID-19 pandemic, it's really just wrapping my hands around everything going on there, but just communicating across the board. We have a special athletic department with our staff, with our student athletes, with our coaches, and a community that I love, that all of us love. So just making sure we're all on the same page and moving forward to continue to grow and enhance what we do, but also what the college is trying to do, making sure we have everything in order moving forward for the department.
Now, I have to point out, you're probably too modest and humble to bring all this stuff up, but you're a former NFL player. You are a lawyer. Like, what have you not done, Payton? It seems like you've done everything.
I've been very fortunate. I've had people around me to support me, which is why I love having the opportunity to be the athletic director. I had folks even way back at Moreno Valley High School trying to push me towards the things that I could do, having the opportunity at Fresno State to play and then be able to compete professionally has been huge. But the key was really the educational part. I won championships, went to bowl games, done some really special things. But the most important thing was being able to earn a degree and being the first man in my family to earn a college diploma. And that's been able to open up all the other avenues that I've had in my life. So I always point back to that. It's why being an athletic director and helping our students kind of break down those gates that might be preventing them from getting to a four-year school and getting towards a diploma. I want to be there with our staff, helping our student athletes achieve those same goals and getting that all important cap and gown and diploma.
Payton, you bring up an excellent point that I want to touch on as well, that, being an athletic director, obviously here on the sports show, we think about championships and winning conference and all those sorts of things and getting guys scholarships to four-year universities. But in order to make some of those things happen, you have to be getting it done in the classroom as well. And as athletic director, of course, you want your teams to win, but you also want them to win in the classroom. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And the goal and the target for our athletic department is to be the premier community college athletic department. And that just isn't winning championships on the field, on the scoreboard. Like our track and field team, they party at the podium every year at state. Our football team's the reigning state champs, national champs. But we want to also achieve academically. We want to achieve institutionally. And we want to be a great athletic department in the community as well. Riverside and the surrounding community is a special place. Toughness is created here. Hard work is created here. Dedication, support, all the things that we want our young men and women to grow up to be, you learn in this community. And we help support that at our college. So yes, we want to win. I love to compete, and not just compete, but win and dominate. But we also want to make sure that we're creating great people, great students, great citizens for our future and our community as well.
Payton, what are some things that you learned along the way in your own experience, whether it was playing college football, professional football, becoming a lawyer, your time in the NFL? What are some things that you learned along the way that now that you're an athletic director here at RCC, it might still be applicable? You're like, you know what? I'm glad I went through that, or I'm glad I had that experience. Now I can share that and pass it along to, your Tiger coaches or the student athletes out there at RCC. What are some things maybe that you personally learned along your professional journey that you think you can now give back to the RCC family?
Absolutely. I'm going to try to cut it down because it's so exciting. So much that I've learned from being a student athlete that I still use to this day now that I'm an old guy. But truly, it's you have that dream growing up. And, I was only child, single parent household, and we're all trying to figure it out. And you just want to succeed and excel and do more. And I wanted to do that through athletics. And I had an advisor that told me, he said, well, that's great. I love that. But what you really want to do is, regardless of what happens in your life, put yourself in a position to make a multi-generational change, not just in your life, but in the people around you that you love. And so having a chance to be a student athlete where they're going to pay for your college education, which we're learning is just so important, and you get all these opportunities to succeed, continuing to push that forward for our students is something that I know our coaches do, but we're going to continue to accentuate that moving forward.
Well, Payton, what a time to become an athletic director during, all this COVID-19 stuff and so much uncertainty out there in the world of sports, certainly at the college level as well. What's kind of your message maybe to your different athletic programs, your head coaches? I know you're still pretty new on the job, but what's going to be the message maybe going forward through this spring? Because there's still hope that, and I think it's called season 2, like the later spring sports, that we still might be able to have some games and some competition there at the junior college level here in California. What's kind of your message maybe to those coaches and programs in terms of just, we got to be patient, we got to be ready? I know for the high school coaches, they want to step on the gas as soon as they get the green light here. So what's kind of your message for those teams that still might be able to squeeze in some games this school year?
Really quick, it's one of that we understand and we care. Safety is the most important part. And that is not overlooked by anybody. You want to make sure we do things safely. But truly, it's staying healthy and staying hungry and staying real focused on the things that we can control. And this is tough. We have student athletes that have spent the majority of their lives being students and being athletes and competing. And athletics has been taken away for almost a year. And that hasn't happened for them, since they were crawling. Being students, they've done that well enough to excel to get to the college level. But this isn't school like you know it, when we're just having screens back and forth and everything going on. So those two things have been taken away. We understand that. We're fighting tooth and nail and doing everything we can, not just coaches, not just administrators, but our faculty, our administration, to get them back on the field and back doing what they love safely so they can be student athletes again. We just ask that they continue to stay hungry and stay focused and stay healthy, make good, safe decisions with all that they do, limiting their, high risk access points and things so that when time does come back to play, they're healthy enough to play and they've done the things, being able to move forward to be the true Tigers that we know they are.
That was well said. Payton, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for taking a couple minutes to join us here on the Inland Sports Show. And hopefully soon I'll get the chance to meet you in person at Wheelock Stadium or at the Aquatic Center or one of the places on campus at RCC. But congratulations on the Tigers gig and best of luck going forward.
Thank you. I look forward to it, Pep.
All right, that's Payton Williams, the new RCC AD, joined us here on the Inland Sports Show. We do appreciate that. Thank you, Payton. All right, another quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got a high school cross country, a real live meet this Saturday at La Sierra High School. We will talk to the head coach of the Eagles, Jeremy Solorio, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show.
This is Alexander Madison. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports. Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team. Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. We have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time. And then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it, but we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for. And And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. A big thanks to Payton Williams, the athletic director at RCC. And before that, we had Kaiser football head coach Billy Cardosi and Trevian Tribble join us here, star quarterback. And make sure if you're following us on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, do all those sorts of things for Inland Sports. We'd really appreciate it. This segment brought to you by Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. They now have enrollment for the 2021-2022 Bass Private School. It is not an online school. It is a private school for athletes who are serious about sports and serious about their grades. That is the Boost Alternative School for student athletes, specifically for 7th and 8th grade boys. If you're interested, check them out. That is boosttrainingsystems.com right there. You can check it out. All right, now I think, correct me if I'm wrong, hit me up on social media if this is not the case, but this Saturday at La Sierra High School, we have a River Valley League cross-country meet, and it should be the first high school competition in the Inland Empire since March. It's been a long, long time, almost an entire year, about 10, 11 months since we've had a high school competition. Not the first in the state, though, because the stay-at-home order was lifted on Monday morning, and by Monday afternoon, there were cross-country meets across Northern California. So they hit the ground running. They must have saw it coming, or they were ready, but we're right behind them. So we have our first one here in Riverside in the IE this Saturday. Here's our exclusive interview with La Sierra cross-country coach Jeremy Solorio. And Coach Solorio was so kind to be generous with his time and join us because they are coming together and trying to make this River Valley League cross-country meet happen. They're scrambling to get all the parts in place, and they did it. It's going to be on campus at La Sierra this Saturday, and it's going to be a little bit different. Not all the schools are going to be on the course at once. It'll be one school against another. You'll hear in our exclusive interview with Coach Solorio, but the best thing is they will be out there competing. So high school sports is back. Here is Coach Solorio. Now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He's the head cross-country coach at La Sierra High School right here in Riverside. And pretty exciting news as we're getting ready for the cross-country season. It's actually happening, and we're fired up about it. It's Jeremy Solorio, head coach for the Eagles. And Coach, first off, listen, you guys will be, as far as I know, the first cross-country meet here in the Inland Empire with the stay-at-home order lifted. I know I had heard that there was, I think it was east of Sacramento in like El Dorado High School or something like that. On Monday afternoon, they had a cross-country meet. So the order was lifted Monday morning, and by Monday afternoon, they already had the first cross-country meet in the state of California. But at least here in the IE, you guys are going to be off and running, pun intended. How excited are you to see your team actually compete against somebody else this coming Saturday?
Extremely excited because it's been probably 30 plus years since we actually had a cross country meet at the high school. So it's the first time in quite a long time that we actually had a meet there.
So not only do we actually have cross country back, but the first time actually on campus at La Sierra High School is the first time in like 30 years?
Yep, exactly.
So, Coach, here we are. We got the stay-at-home order lifted, and we've got cross-country in the purple tier, which means you guys can compete like right now. How long has the plans been in place to hopefully, like you said, January 30th was that target date at least to have a cross-country meet, although we didn't quite technically know if the stay-at-home order was going to be lifted. But here we are. How long have you been planning for this meet?
Probably at least a month and a half, maybe two. Because every time we had it, they say they're going to lift the order. All the coaches got together. We planned for it and said, "Oh no, we got to wait for this date." Then the next thing happened, "No, we got to wait for this date." So like we're going to have it on the 30th. No matter what, as soon as it happens, we're going to have it on the 30th.
And this will be a River Valley League meet. So, Coach, maybe traditionally, a River Valley League meet might have all the schools going at the same time, like boys varsity, girls varsity, and et cetera. But will this cross-country meet maybe look a little bit different, compared to what we would, maybe traditionally see in a league meet?
Yes. First off, we're going to have, there's going to be no JV or varsity. Because when we got together talking with all the coaches, our numbers just not going to add up to have them just separated like that. So we decided like two teams, the boys from one team and other team were going to go together, and then switch over to the girls, then the next two teams, then the next two teams. So it's 2 teams per race.
Oh, okay. So who are you guys going up against? La Sierra?
We're going to go up against Patriot.
Okay. So River Valley League action, boys versus girls, and the first time in like 3 decades that you guys actually have a cross-country meet on campus. Coach, I think, win or lose, whether you guys beat Patriot or not, just the simple fact that you guys are out there competing in a, CIF event. How exciting is that? Just the fact that you can actually get your team together and really be the first high school event in the IE since last March, like 10 months.
Very excited. Some of my kids, they have all that pent up energy. It's like, Coach, we just want to go. We just want to race. And finally, when I told them today, some of them kind of like mixed feelings, like, oh, are we going to be ready? And I was like, we got this. We're going to get going.
Hey, Coach, you were kind of sharing a little bit off the air about the fact that when you told your team, hey, the stay-at-home order has been lifted, we've got a real meet coming up this weekend. What was kind of their first reaction when they heard the news?
They thought I was messing with them at first. Then they sunk.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. And after it sunk in, they're like, "You're not joking." I'm like, "No, I am not joking." And they're like, "Okay, I gotta tell my work. I'm not going to be going in that day," because all they wanted was to race for the past month and a half too. So as soon as they found out, they're on the cell phones. I usually ban the cell phones from practice as we start, but they're like, no, we got to call work right now. So I gave them a few more minutes to get everything all sorted over so we can get things ready for Saturday.
So it almost sounds like too good to be true, right? Because we've been waiting for so long and nothing's been going on for so long. It's like, wait, is this really the green light? Are we really going? Was that kind of what, your impression of how they took it?
Yeah, like, no. They're like, this has to be something like pranks on you. Have a camera over here or something trying to punk us. Like, no, it is actually happening this Saturday. We are having a race on campus.
So, Coach, what do you think the rest of the River Valley League season might look like? Do you have a couple more meets scheduled? Are you going to try to squeeze in a couple more? Because we do know there's no technical like CIF Southern Section postseason. So, what do you think the next couple of weeks or months might look like for yourself in the River Valley League this year?
We're going to have all our league meets and try to get any invitationals that we are able to go to. Because right now, every invitation I try to sign up for or hear of, it's canned. It's canceled.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard, isn't it? Like try to go out there and find competition. I mean, the River Valley League's great, but to try to find something beyond that is a challenge. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I was trying to sign up for all the other things, I went to Prep Cow Track, canceled, tentative, canceled, tentative, canceled, tentative. Couldn't find one, and finally they're going to have an invitational at Ramona High School. Soon as the head coach over there informed me, I was like, "We're in. We're going."
Anything, right? Just to get your team out there competing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Coach, you know what I mean? Like when you look at cross country, just the sport of cross country, I think in terms of like socially isolating and those the least amount of interaction or maybe, like compared to like wrestling or basketball or something like that, I would feel like cross country is the ideal sport to kind of lead the way, to kind of usher high school sports back into competition. Did you feel like, hey, of all the sports, we're going to get we might be the first ones right out of the gate. We might get that first chance to, kind of build some confidence for the rest of the school community. And yeah, there's sports on campus that, hey, we can do this. We can do it safely. And here we are. And it came to kind of fruition that cross country is the first one out of the gate to get a shot to actually compete.
Yeah, it is very exciting to be the first ones. We just have to set the precedent of maintaining the distance, following the protocol. Because if something happens, they're probably going to look at us and say, "What did we do wrong? What do we have to correct for the next time?"
Coach Solorio, do you also do track and field at La Sierra?
Yes, I do.
So really, because track is another purple tier sport, you're going to go straight from cross country, ideally, right into the track season, right?
Yeah, because right now our schedule, last league meet is February 27th, and about 3 weeks later, we have our first preseason meet against Norco. So we have 3 weeks. It's like, okay, guys, once we're done, next day, we're going straight into track.
Well, Coach, it is exciting times. Best of luck this Saturday against Patriot High School in this River Valley League meet at La Sierra. And again, history being made. Like it's been 30 years, like 3 decades since the Eagles have had a cross-country competition on their campus. So, Coach, I really appreciate the time and best of luck this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, being the first one to jump back into competition, it's very exciting. All right. Thank you, Coach. Hey, that
Yes,
was.
it is.
All right, that was Coach Solorio in the exclusive interview. Yeah, cross country coming this Saturday. And I had to look at the forecast. In fact, I'll bring it up right now. I don't know if we're going to have rain on Saturday morning, but at this point, I don't think anyone really cares. I think they just want to be out there running around and competing. We could see some rain on Saturday. So, but you know what? Cross country, right? It's going to be wet. It's going to be cold. It's going to be fun. So best of luck out there to the entire River Valley League for getting it done and being the first one right out of the gate. Congrats to them. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we've got some cool news. We're going to talk California Baptist basketball, University of Redlands football, and a little bit with our exclusive interview with Alexander Madison, Minnesota Vikings running back. All that when we come back on the Inland Sports Show.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Maynard, the head football coach at the University of Redlands, and you're watching the Inland Sports Show.
The number one sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods. Hey guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the number one sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the Bass School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. Bass is an all-boys private middle school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. Bass School enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information. By the beach, Carbone spins out of it. The alley-oop to Gorjak Gak. Carbone puts it up. Gak said, I'll go get that. 60. That was Gorjak Gak from CBU men's basketball. A big win for the Lancers this past weekend against Long Beach State in non-conference play. They won by 21, so a huge win for CBU. They will be back home this weekend as they return to Western Athletic Conference play, as they will take on Dixie State, not only Friday night, but also Saturday night at the Event Center. And both those are tipping off at 6 p.m. Dixie State is an old rival of CBU from the Pac West days when they're both Division II. Now they're both Division I. First year in the WAC for Dixie State. So again, Friday and Saturday night. You can join it, the broadcast. You can watch it live on the WAC Digital Network. Now let's transition to University of Redlands football. Now the SCIAC, the conference for the U of R, said they will not have a football season. We knew that. That was a long time ago. But the U of R has said that, hey, if we can, we're going to go out and find some games this spring. And that's exactly what they did. According to head coach Mike Maynard, the plan is they will play Cal Lutheran twice on March 6th and also March 20th, a home-and-home series with Cal Lu to give their teams a chance to compete this spring, especially for those seniors who might be suiting up for the final time. Here's head coach Mike Maynard explaining how this kind of came together for the Bulldogs.
The University of Redlands, first of all, we have a great president, dean of students, athletic director. They all want our young people to have the opportunity to compete. So even though the conference said there's no fall sports and we're not going to play fall sports this spring, our school said, wait a second, we have the right to do what we want to do. And Cal Lutheran said the same thing. So we have the chance at the University of Redlands to possibly play Cal Lutheran, where we would like to play 2 games against them, a home and away game this spring for them. And as I said before, our athletic director gets it. He wants our seniors to have the opportunity to compete 2 more times before they graduate this spring. And I think that's awesome. And so we're doing everything we can to try to give our 16 seniors an opportunity to participate. And of course, all the other guys too.
Cut it off if you. All right, so that was head coach Mike Maynard talking about how this kind of came together this spring. And again, that is the plan. Hopefully it can come together. And those dates are March 6th and March 20th. One of those will be a home date at Ted Runner. The other one will be on the road at Cal Lu. And finally tonight, gosh, man, he is one of our favorite guys. He always makes time for us, and he always comes back. He always remembers his roots. That is Alexander Madison, the pride of Cardinal City, San Bernardino High School, now a running back for the Minnesota Vikings. Just finished up year number 2 in the NFL, and it was a bumpy road, as you're going to hear from Alex. I mean, he had an emergency appendectomy, he had a concussion, so it was kind of a bumpy road this year. But he's looking ahead to year number 3, hoping the Vikings make it to the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs as well. Let's hear from Alexander Madison.
The injury I had, so I ended up getting my appendix removed the day before the Jaguars game, I believe, or the Carolina game. And then I ended up coming back and I got a concussion. And so then I ended up, doing the concussion protocol. Everything was fine after that. And then I ended up finishing the season well and injury-free. So I'm blessed to be in the position I am now to overcome that adversity throughout December and finish out the season healthy.
Was it just kind of frustrating, though, to kind of finish out like that?
Yeah, it was just, one of those unexpected things that you really can't do anything about. And then, the concussion deal was just, it's football. I finished the game. I don't know how I made a couple plays that I made in the game because I don't remember it. But, it's a part of the game. And as long as you're taking the safety precautions that you need to make sure that you're all right to continue to play, everything's all good. And so I'm just blessed to be in a position right now where I'm healthy. We finished the season, getting ready to go into year 3 now.
All right, so that was Alexander Madison. And again, he's got his own brand, too. I Am Gifted. So he's doing so many different things and always giving back to the community. NFL star. He's the whole deal. And we're so excited to have him back on the Inland Sports Show, always making time for us. We have a long exclusive interview with Alex, also with Coach Maynard from the University of Redlands. You can find those airing on IEMG. That is TV3, serving a bunch of different parts of San Bernardino County. So make sure you check that out. More with Maynard, Coach Maynard, and Alexander Madison there. Huge shout out to Johnny Nunez and the team here at Teen Vision TV 16. We always appreciate their hard work behind the scenes to make this happen. My name is Pep Fernandez. Again, if you haven't followed us on social media, let's do it. Follow us because we're always pumping out content, the latest news, exclusive stuff. So make sure you're following us all over social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course the YouTube channel as well. You might be watching us live on YouTube right now. Hit that subscribe button for us. We'd really appreciate it. We will see you next Wednesday, 6:05 first pitch. Until then, be nice to one another. God bless you. And hopefully next time we're talking, we've got more local sports starting up. Best of luck to cross country this Saturday at La Sierra High School. We'll see you next time.